Football fans, it's finally over. Gareth Bale has announced his retirement from football with a social media post confirming the rumours. While he's been more focused on golf in recent years, it's easy to forget that Bale has had a ridiculous career. The winger is one of the most decorated players of all time, with 5 Champions League medals to his name. Bale straight up carried club and country on his back during his prime years. Could he be the greatest British export in football history? Join us as we look through Bale's illustrious journey, exploring the impact he had on and off the pitch, and stick around until the end to see where his next steps could lie. With Bale being abroad in Spain and America for so many years, we'd forgive you for forgetting how it all began. He was born in Cardiff and immediately took an interest in football. Bale quickly found a role model in former United player Ryan Giggs, wanting to play out wide like his hero, but it was actually in a six-a-side tournament where he caught the attention of his first professional club. Aged 9, Bale turned the heads of Southampton scouts, who fast-tracked him into their club. He stayed in Cardiff for most of his childhood, and this is where he really developed into an exceptional athlete. As a 14-year-old, Bale apparently ran a 100-metre sprint in 11.4 seconds. That's only 2 seconds off the current world record. His pace was amazing, but his footballing ability was even better. It was so good, in fact, that his old teachers had to make special rules just for Bale to follow. Sometimes he was only allowed to play one-touch football, and sometimes he was banned from using his stronger foot entirely. Could you imagine being so good that your teacher has to handicap you just to make it fair for everyone else? Either way, it was just years later that he found himself making his first senior appearance. In April 2006, Bale debuted for Southampton in a 2-0 victory against Millwall. He was only 16 and 275 days old. It made him the second youngest player to ever play for Southampton. Only Theo Walcott was younger. Bale was electric for the Saints. He scored 5 free kicks within his first year, quickly establishing himself as a set-piece specialist. The Welshman was electric, and his creativity was unheard of for somebody of his age. He was named the Football League Young Player of the Year after his first full season, and this was all while he was playing as a left-back. In total, he made 45 appearances for Southampton and scored 5 goals. It didn't take long for a big team to come knocking, and for once for Southampton, it wasn't Liverpool who wanted him. In May 2007, Bale joined Tottenham Hotspur for a fee of £5 million. What a bargain that would turn out to be. As soon as he arrived at White Hart Lane, Bale was given a more offensive role. He was retrained and redeployed as a left winger. This decision would change the world, let alone the trajectory of his career. But it started off rocky for Bale, suffering a bad injury in December 2007, which caused ligament damage to his right ankle. He missed the rest of the season through injury after successful surgery. It would take more than that to keep Bale down though. His old PE teacher Gwyn Morris once said, "Gareth has a fierce determination to succeed and has the character and qualities to achieve his personal goals." Huge praise for one of his former students. Obviously, he bounced back from injury and became a stalwart in the Tottenham team under the guidance of our favourite wheeler dealer, Harry Redknapp. Bale was so majestic on the ball, and paired with his speed, he was playing blink and you'll miss it football. And his dazzling performances throughout 2010 were drawing attention from the rest of Europe. He scored 4 goals in the 2010-11 Champions League, outscoring his idol Ryan Giggs. Bale's sensational form continued, and he was named PFA Player of the Year in both 2011 and 2013. That's not to mention that he was also named Premier League Player of the Season in 2013 too. He couldn't stop winning these individual awards, and it's crazy that even in September 2013, Bale moved to Madrid in a world record deal. He cost £85.1 million in what was the biggest transfer ever at the time, and Bale was only 24 years old at the time. He marked his first appearance with a goal against Villarreal, but like at Spurs, the beginning of his time in Spain was plagued with injuries. Bale only made 5 appearances in his first season at Real Madrid. It took him a while to get going, but once he did, it didn't take long for him to become one of Madrid's best ever players. Within a year, he had scored a trophy-winning goal in the 2014 Copa del Rey final. It's considered one of his best career goals. 85 minutes had been played, and yet he found the energy to sprint from the halfway line all the way to the other goal. He even had to run off the pitch at one point to get the ball. And did we mention this was all against arch-rivals Barcelona? His teammate Xabi Alonso said, "It was incredible. I've never seen anything like it." This was the first of his match-winning goals, and was just a taster of what he'd go on to achieve at Madrid. 5 Champions Leagues, with 3 of them coming consecutively. That was alongside, take a deep breath and get ready, 4 Club World Cups, 3 European Super Cups, 3 La Liga titles, 1 Copa del Rey, and 3 Spanish Super Cups. Bale scored 106 goals across undoubtedly the most famous strike must be that bicycle kick in the Champions League final. You have to see it to believe it. It's outrageous that he'd even attempt anything like that in the world's biggest tournament final. That alone is enough to put him straight into the history books, but we haven't even scraped the surface of what he achieved for his country. We don't think there's any argument in saying that Bale is the greatest Welsh player to ever kick a football. He played a record number of 111 games for his country, and the winger even bagged 41 goals in the process. That makes him the most capped and highest goalscorer of all time. He was the top scorer for Wales when they qualified for the 2016 Euros, netting 7 times. And he led them out as captain in the tournament itself, where Wales reached the semi-finals in their best ever finish. But perhaps his biggest achievement for his country was taking them to the 2022 World Cup. Despite not doing great at the tournament, it was the first time they had appeared in the tournament for 64 years. No other player in history can say that they've carried an entire nation on their back like that. His international career is way too good to put into words. Bale was named Welsh Footballer of the Year a record 6 times. Can he give everyone else a chance? Stop breaking records, please. Unfortunately, his time at Madrid finished with some dodgy behaviour. It was reported that despite living in Spain for 9 years, he didn't even bother to learn Spanish. His relationship with the Madridista fans quickly soured, especially when he considered playing golf and international football way more important than his domestic career. And despite being married to his childhood sweetheart, it looked like golf had become his new love. He even has a replica of the 17th hole from the TPC golf course at home in his garden. That's just one of the many features he has at his £4 million farmhouse in Glamorgan, South Wales. After a lifetime under the spotlight, Bale seems to really enjoy the quiet life here. He reportedly spends £500,000 a year on security officers, guard dogs, and a surveillance system, and that doesn't even make a dent in his estimated £131 million net worth. In fact, he's believed to be the second highest paid Briton on Instagram. Bale reportedly earns over £150,000 per sponsored post to his 35 million plus followers. Him and his wife Emma do put this money to good use though. They're famous philanthropists and are constantly looking to help people out using their platform and position. In April 2020, they donated £1 million to public healthcare in Wales and Spain to help fight against the pandemic. Months later in October, they gave away £15,000 worth of Christmas gifts to homeless people in Swansea. We're sure that Bale and his family will continue to do good during their life after football. He, of course, finished his career with a loan spell at Tottenham and then a season at LAFC, where he helped them to MLS Cup and Supporter Shield wins. Bale has retired in glory after draping himself in trophy after trophy. Could a career in golf be next? We wouldn't put it past Gareth Bale, a man who can seemingly do anything he puts his mind to.